She is one of America's favorite Golden Girls. Now actress Rue McClanahan is making the rounds promoting her new book. She was in Austin this past week. News 8 Austin's Todd Boatwright sat down with Miss McClanahan to talk about her long television career.
Oh, we better put out the welcome mat.
We don't have a welcome mat.
What about the one Dorothy says is at the foot of your bed?
Of course, our favorite Golden Girl, Rue McClanahan, joins us in studio. Appreciate you coming in so much. You look good. You didn't tell me to say that, but you look great. Right?
Well, if I do this time of day, it's because of Pamela. Pamela was hired to come, and my God, I found a jewel in Austin. Pamela owns a place called Pamela's Beauty Secrets on Burnett, and we're going to fly her to New York to do my makeup, I tell you.
That's fantastic.
She's great, the best hairdo I've had, and I don't know when.
So what do you think, sitting here almost 20 years later, looking at the Golden Girls, what do you think about that?
Well, I can't see a thing without my glasses on, which is just as well because I'd probably cry. It makes me so nostalgic. I don't watch the shows. It makes me so nostalgic because it was absolutely such a, you should pardon the pun, golden stretch of time, those 7 years, and so amazingly creative and demanding but thrilling at the same time, because we were the toast of the town, you know, and we had a wonderful set, and people loved working on our show because everything was so, they said it was just the happiest set in town.
And I understand that you and Betty White were going to switch roles at first.
No, in the beginning we weren't going to switch, but they were thinking of her very strongly for the role of Blanche, and they asked me to come in and audition for the role of Rose. And oh, I wanted to play Blanche, so I went in and read for Rose, and then the director asked me if I'd go down the hall and look at the part of Blanche and come back, and I did. And then he brought Betty in and asked her if she'd read Rose, and he read us together another day, and then we got Bea to come in and read with all of us, and boy, that did it. That did it. We all clicked.
And you guys were on how long? How many years?
7.
7 years.
And then we did a thing called Golden Palace for a year without Bea, but it was a well-kept secret. Nobody told anybody that this show was going to be on. It switched networks, it switched nights, and it switched times, and we were just, you know, showing it to a lovely empty living room, I guess, all over the United States.
Of course, too, you kind of had a relationship, or you met Norman Lear. He got you to the CBS realm, to On the Family, Maude. Tell me about that.
Oh, well, that was back in the 70s. He saw me in a play in New York, and 3 years later he called and said he had a job for me on All in the Family. He'd just started doing television.
You played a wife swapper.
I did. The Bunkers Meet the Swingers, it was called. And it was a beautifully written script with Benny Gardenia. And it won the best television show. It won the Emmy that year as the best written comedy script because it was written so well. He had wonderful writers, and he was a marvelous, and is, a prince of a guy. Well, as I say in my book, all the way through, I talk about Norman Lear.
Right.
Yeah. So that got me jump-started into television, and the very next week he asked me if I'd do his new show called Maude. He needed a next door. Well, he needed a best friend who was going to possibly become a next-door neighbor. And the second year, I did become, so I had to move to California. Well, it was a joy to move to California, although I just bought my first house in New Jersey. But that's all right.
Right. So history in the making.
Thank God. I really lucked out working for him first.
Right. Well, that's so great to meet you. Thanks so much.
Well, thank you.
Appreciate you being
I lucked out meeting you, too.
Thank you.